welcome to another episode of For the Love of Film, the film review show where we review films. My name is Gabe Thorpe, and non sequitur, I barely knew her. To introduce my guest host for this beautiful night, we have Calvin Skavsma, Garrett Barquette, and Ben Karazinski. Let's get ready to rumble! How are you tonight?
Me specifically?
In general, it's to the room.
Oh, doing well.
No. Been worse, been better, but I'd say overall positive.
That's some mood. That's some mood. But you know what? Keep pushing onwards.
As the French say, oui.
As the French say, les incompetents. That's a Home Alone reference for you kiddies keeping track at home.
L'omelette du fromage.
Oui.
I don't speak Italian.
That's a Dexter's Laboratory reference that apparently Gabe...
Oh, yes. He says it to the girls like, I forget what she says, but then she faints.
Yes.
This is a great start to an episode.
Especially our Star Wars episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
So for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be covering 3 special films in the Star Wars Skywalker saga. We're going to start out with one special film from the original trilogy. My whole bit is mispronouncing words because I'm so random XD funny. Haha. The Empire Strikes Back, also known as Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. There is no escape. This is, I feel like I don't have to give a synopsis of frickin' Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. But
Wait, it was just...
You can do it anyway.
1980, directed by Irvin Kershner. It's the tale of Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa, and Han Solo as they lead the Rebel Alliance against a tyrannous galactic empire. Luke is a powerful Jedi who's in training, trains with this little green guy. His name's Kermit the Frog. I'm just kidding, it's Yoda. And he fights his dad, Darth Vader, but shh, don't tell anybody. How are you?
Well, you forgot that
How you guys,
half of the film is also like the subplot between like Han and Leia, which is the best part.
The
I didn't like
best
it.
part?
I know.
I mean, okay, it's dated. It's very dated. I am not gonna...
It's fine. Okay, if you hate that subplot, you just hate romance in general, in your own life. You
See,
hate,
I like it, and I disagree with that. Also, Gabe.
I'm being hyperbolic for the sake of entertainment,
Oh, no.
Cal.
Question, though.
Yeah.
I know Star Wars A New Hope was originally just Star Wars. Empire Strikes Back was always Episode 5, right?
Yes.
Yes, it
Okay,
was
yeah.
always episode 5.
Because you said, otherwise, no, it was always Star Wars Episode 5.
Yes.
They must have been, audiences must have been so...
It was advertised as simply The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The audience must have been so confused when they saw it was Episode 5.
Yes, they know they were.
Yeah, rightfully so.
They're like really old forum posts from like the early 90s of people wondering if George Lucas will ever get around to making his prequel trilogy that he's been promising. And then there was like a one point where George Lucas said, there will not be a prequel trilogy.
Ooh.
Of course he did.
Yes, and
And then
then he made it anyway, and
And he did it anyway.
we're all the better for it,
Just
ain't we?
changed his mind, as he always does.
Okay.
We love
the
you,
actual-
Lukey, buddy.
I don't.
George is a sweetheart. How dare you?
He seems like a nice man.
Nice enough.
Okay, let's get on to the film.
Yeah.
How do you like this film?
I did not like it.
Wow. Like
Hot
keep
take.
in mind, you do. Wait, you said this is the first Star Wars film you've seen.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep in mind, Empire Strikes Back is universally recognized as the best Star Wars film.
So I've been told.
That doesn't mean that you will now hate all Star Wars. What's more likely is that you'll just like another film in the franchise. Perhaps the prequels?
Perhaps.
But we'll see. We'll see next week when we watch a prequel film.
Oh, you're gonna be in trouble if Phantom Menace is the one you like.
Yes. Yes, definitely. But why don't you like this film?
It was.
And maybe scoot a bit to your right because you're.
I know, I'm falling off screen. It was. There were so many things. I hated the acting. I didn't
Yes.
like the Han Leia subplot. It felt forced and it felt slightly rapey.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't like.
Thank you.
There were so many things. I liked how it looked. It was visually appealing for the most part. The slow-mo, I was just so confused.
Okay,
Oh.
that's
Why?
like one sequence, but I completely.
Literally everyone's confused with that.
They did
Yeah.
it like every time a lightsaber came out, and I was like,
Oh, yeah, there was a few stuff.
okay. I also hated the beginning when he was just out in the cold, and then there was a Yeti.
Okay,
I don't-
here's the thing. I like that scene. This is the first time I've seen this film in a long time. I did not realize how long they were on Hoth for.
Yeah.
That was a lot longer than I thought originally. That's like an hour on Hoth.
It's not an hour on Hoth.
It's like 45
minutes. 30 to 30. It's. I think I timed it. It is almost exactly a half hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought originally it was like a 10-minute
It is like
sequence.
the first third. No, the film's like over 2 hours, so it's
Yeah.
like not even a third of the movie.
But the
almost.
Yeti scene wasn't in the original script. They did that because Mark Hamill got into a car accident and they needed to explain the scars on his face.
Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, your criticism
right.
is still fair.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Just
so
because
fair.
there's a reason.
It's just why it's forced.
Yeah.
It is like a subplot that is kind of just there to raise the stakes immediately, but ultimately doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Other than showing, for the first time in the franchise, the Force being used to move an object.
I
Yeah.
think it does. I think it does some good things for Han's development. I
It
like
does
it.
good things for Han's development. Actually, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I like it.
See,
Because
again-
it also shows how more powerful Luke has become
Yeah.
since the last film.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Also, I think Luke should have died when he fell. Like, how did he survive that?
It was made in 1980.
And Jedi's just
That's how
fall
he
and they
survived.
live. That's how it works.
I was
Or
so angry.
Force users.
I wanted to turn Disney Plus off right then. and there.
You knew the whole Darth
Yeah.
Vader, Luke, I am your father thing, right?
Yes, I had somebody explain to me the plot, and he like was trying not to reveal it to me, and halfway through it was like of like the plot of the first film. And I was like, wait, this quote. And he's like, well, now you ruined it for yourself. I was like, I
Well, you knew that.
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could possibly, like, grow up in life.
No,
to-
there are some people.
Really?
There are.
There are some
there
people
are
I've known
people.
who just don't know anything about Star Wars, and so they don't know that Darth Vader is Luke's.
I knew, like,
father.
Darth.
Sorry if we spoiled it for you, but
See, I knew Darth
Come
Vader
on.
was
You're
Luke's.
watching the
I knew
episode.
Darth Vader was like Luke's father. Like the same sentence I learned that Darth Vader existed. I think was probably the sentence I learned Darth Vader was
Yeah.
Luke's father.
yes, like same. But no, there are some people who just don't care about Star Wars, don't want to watch it, and that's okay, of course. But it's still like, wow, you lucked out in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You won the cultural lottery in not finding this out until just now. And
Yeah.
a lot of times it's just like, yeah, I just learned that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father, and like you're 22.
And I do agree. I think it kind of works because the big thing about Star Wars is sort of the world building. Like you're kind of getting engrossed in this world. Like that's why New Hope's one of it might be my favorite Star Wars film because like you just get introduced to all these cool new planets. So that's why I'm fine like spending time on Hoth just because I like it. But I will admit like a snow planet is not the most visually interesting of like planets like to be on necessarily.
Yeah.
Like they make it look as good as you possibly can, but like just I don't like the cold. So just like being
Yeah.
for like a half an hour on some place that's clearly cold is not necessarily the most fun.
See, I grew up in the north. We know snow. I just wanted the audience to know we know snow.
I didn't.
And a winter on Hoth isn't even close to a winter in suburban.
But it's not winter on Hoth. It's just that's the planet. It's like that all the time.
But it ain't
Don't
no.
discredit me on my show.
It ain't no
I
lake effect
just
snow.
Did. What?
It ain't no lake effect snow.
Lake
Lake effect snow.
Lake effect
effect?
snow?
Lake effect snow.
What's lake effect?
It's like
Is it another Star Wars?
it's
thing?
snow affected by the lake. Or maybe I meant affect. Either way, I was off by a vowel.
Effect?
No, I'm still confused. What is lake?
How have you grown up in the north,
Yes.
not heard of it?
How have some people existed in the world and not known what's wrong?
Okay, so when wind blows over a lake, like the lakes,
thank you.
the Great Lakes up north, the air picks up humidity from those lakes, and so because of the lake, it rains and like it precipitates.
I love how you were clearly so mad about this that you left the studio in
So,
order to comment.
That's one reason it snows so much, especially in Chicago, is because the wind is blowing over the Great Lakes.
Does that happen in
And
Hoth?
is there a lake on Hoth?
Is there? You're the expert. You've come onto the show.
I don't know about
Welcome
Star
to the
Wars.
show, everyone.
Star Wars,
Benjamin Bach.
Episode
Bye.
5,
Bye.
The Empire Strikes Back. What are your guys' thoughts on this film?
This film specifically.
We have not-
Or now Snow.
Okay, my thoughts on the film. I like it a lot. It is, A New Hope used to be my favorite Star Wars movie. Now, this is my favorite Star Wars movie, which makes me a normie, but I don't care. It is a lot of fun. It is it's not the most complex. It used to be the most complex Star Wars film.
Yeah.
And then the prequels came out, and that's like complex, but in a bad way. And then The Last Jedi came out, and that's complex in a good way, at least
talk
in my
about it.
opinion. We'll talk about it
I mean, I agree with his
in
opinion.
2 weeks. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Enjoy.
I think it's very good, and I think one thing that y'all haven't, that y'all haven't brought up is the fight scenes. The
Yes.
lightsaber battle between Luke and Darth Vader. And I get words out.
Who's that one
Captain
It was
character?
that one
With
character.
with like the black
He's
mask
like
on.
the samurai-looking mask.
Oh, it's Captain Picard.
Captain Picard. And it was one of the more well choreographed like scenes or like combat scenes before like
It was certainly,
fight scenes were choreographed really.
it was
which-
certainly better than like the New Hope, like Obi-Wan and Darth Vader's.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely
Only
better
an
than
Austin
that.
of Evil, dog.
It was definitely more
and
high
then
energy
he
than
dies.
that.
He loses, but just like smirking at Luke, like,
Yeah.
just doing that and letting him bifurcate him.
Yeah.
Anyways, the fight scenes in this are ding dang all good.
There's
Yeah.
only one.
There's more there's action scenes.
There's
Just, like,
action scenes, but a fight scene is
That's fair.
there's only the one, I'd say.
Yeah.
So that was probably my favorite part of the movie is the lightsaber combat that you didn't really get in the first one, A New Hope.
Yeah.
And you don't really get again until the prequel trilogy comes around and gives you like really good fight scenes with lightsabers.
Yeah.
So I think this was kind of a really good benchmark for like good lightsaber combat.
It's been a while, but I remember it wasn't the best choreographed, but Darth Vader versus Luke in Return of the Jedi is amazing, and how it emotionally builds up.
Yeah, I don't remember the choreography exactly.
Like choreography, I don't know. I remember like just the emotional payoff.
But yeah, it was also a good one.
Okay, my opinion on the film. I liked it a lot. I will say, so I watched New Hope like a little less than a year ago again, and I've always said like New Hope's my favorite, but I always wondered if I went back and rewatched Empire, if that would change. Honestly, I'm sticking with my opinion. I think New Hope is still the better film, and mostly because like I think a lot about Empire is dated like, even more than I think than the original Star Wars is. And then like, yeah, Han and Leia, I can like it in sort of a classic way. I get what they're going for, but yeah, it is kind of creepy at times.
Yeah.
And in this film, it's clearly it's supposed to be a traditional adventure film sort of thing, and they clearly have a lot of. It's clearly kind of has like an episodic feel to it at points. Where like, oh, now they're on Hoth. Now we have Han and Leia's on an asteroid. Now we have like Luke in the Yoda place. Then we have
Luke in the Yoda
Dagobah.
place.
The Dagobah system.
Then we have Cloud. Like, there's definitely a plot. There's a through line. Just more kind of
Yeah.
like here is just a mismatched sort of swashbuckling sort of adventures that go through.
Yeah.
But then there are just some really good like scenes. Like again, like Luke going through like that one swamp area where he sees like the one thing he like fears most, or like one thing, or says, "Oh, you
Yeah.
won't carry with you like what you have," something like that. Like there's definitely like just
I'm
bits
working
and,
on my masterpiece
bits and
here.
pieces of like really smart and clever stuff here. I understand why this is the most well loved, and it does have one of the best endings. Like,
Yes.
as far
Yeah.
as like classic action kids films go, I think it is a very good film.
Yeah. And it is a kid's film.
Yeah.
At the end
Yeah.
of the day, it's like a kid's film
But,
that
like, it's not-
that an adult could have enjoyed, and
Yeah.
clearly it did enjoy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because, dear God, Star Wars, let's be honest, is a boomer franchise.
I'd have to disagree with that.
Now, I'm not
I
using
kind of
boomer
agree,
in a disparaging.
but I didn't even think of it that way.
Yes, because
I
like,
don't agree at all.
no, I'm not using boomer in a disparaging term in this sense, right? But come on.
No.
I mean, okay.
Come on.
Here's the
As
thing.
a whole, Star
Oh
Wars.
no! Like
Or the
ori-
original
the original
trilogy.
trilogy, absolutely. The prequel
Yeah.
trilogy, pretty much. The sequel trilogy.
I'm a
No.
Zoomer, and I grew up with the prequel trilogy.
A Zoomer?
Yeah, it's after Millennials.
When were you born?
I'm on the edge,
Yeah.
of glory.
but I
And
think
I'm hanging on this moment with you.
most people would.
I'm on the edge with you.
Most people would agree. I'm in.
Yeah.
Most people would agree. I'm in the Gen Z.
Yeah, it's 2000s the cutoff.
What year are you?
What?
What year are you?
I was born in 1998.
So you're a
98?
you're a
Okay, yeah,
millennial.
you're Gen Z.
No,
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 you're millennial.
no. There's no direct thing. There's no clear
My
distinction.
definition
Mo-
is: do you remember 9/11?
No.
If you do, you're a millennial. If you don't, you're Gen Z.
Do not remember it.
Do not remember it.
So Star Wars.
So Star Wars.
One of the most well-loved films of all time.
Well, let's talk about set design because that's clearly the best part about this entire movie.
Yeah.
The best part?
Yes.
Okay. No.
No, there's some great parts in it, but set design is like immaculate.
Not the
A lot of
music.
it still holds up today.
Not the music, not the practical effects.
The practical
Practical
effects, no,
effects-
exactly. There are a bunch of great parts in it,
Uh,
but I'm saying set design
set design's the best.
is immaculate. Music is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Practical effects are very great.
but
like,
set design
The
is
set
the top
design
one.
is incredible.
like so Yoda. Yoda still holds up wonderfully, like amazing. But you can tell it's a puppet. Like the set design.
Yeah.
If I were to see like this set design in a modern day film, it would just be as good.
I mean,
I gotcha.
yeah, you did. It's called The Last Jedi. He did it.
Wait. He's talking about set design in modern.
I thought you mentioned Yoda.
He did mention
No,
Yoda,
I mean,
but that wasn't the
I
end
said
of
if
it,
I
so-
was to see this Yoda in a modern day film,
Which you did.
But they did stuff to him.
It hardly.
They did stuff
He
to
looked
him.
really bad.
What did they
I
do?
don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But again, exactly the point. I thought Last Jedi Yoda kind of could have been
Yeah.
fixed up a bit. With that said, so if you divorce it from like the time, I mean, if you put it with the time, this Yoda looks really good. If you divorce this set design from the time and like release it today in this sort of film, I still think the set design would look really good.
I gotcha.
I agree.
That's fair.
Nice. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement with that. You said the acting sucks. And here's the thing, I agree, but I feel like it doesn't matter because it's clearly a very campy atmosphere
Yeah.
that they're kind of going with. Like, Star Wars is based off of the Flash Gordon sci-fi serials
Right.
of the 60s, which is like so campy that in like the essay that essentially defined camp, Susan Sontag's What is Camp, she even lists Flash Gordon as a prime example of camp. So Star Wars is like the spiritual successor of those serials in a way.
But it's not trying to be campy like the Flash.
I feel like it is.
Is it
It's-
not trying to be campy?
It's trying to
feel
be
like
fun and like sort of swashbuckling. It's not specifically trying to be like, so we reviewed Rocky Horror a few weeks ago. It's not like,
Oh no, it's not like that level, because I would be remiss to argue that. If anything, it's unafraid to be campy. It might not even be like intentionally reaching for it, but it's like if we get there, it's only makes it more
Also-
fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also,
I don't think the acting is horrible in this. I think Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher are very good in this film. I think, especially compared to A New Hope, which Carrie Fisher
It's really just Mark Hamill. Because Mark Hamill is,
Which is
I love you, buddy, but
Mark Hamill's my favorite of like the three as actors. Mark Hamill's probably my favorite. I love all of the other things he's in. I'll admit, I don't think OG Luke is an amazing character.
No.
I think he's well written for who he is.
for who he is and what he represents as like the hero archetype.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's whinier than I remember.
I drew
Again,
Skywalker.
when's the last time you saw
fighting
New Hope?
Darth Vader.
Like A New Hope.
Grim
2,
from
3 years ago.
Yes.
He is almost.
Yes,
not almost
that's-
unbearable. He is
I was not
very
allowed to watch
annoying
that
in New
show as a
Hope.
child.
Yeah. Does he get less annoying as it moves on? I've only
That's
seen this
sad.
one recently.
Okay, I think Empire Strikes Back of the original trilogy is best Luke.
Yeah.
Then I think I'm gonna do controversial. I think A New Hope is second. I do not like Return of the Jedi Luke, except for the ending scene.
Return of the Jedi Luke is like badass,
He's too stoic. I don't like.
but
him.
that's the thing. He is very like, no, father, you will change.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Which like, Empire Luke would be like a bit more passionate with it, a bit more. And I get that the whole point of the Jedi is to be stoic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, but it's still just like, okay. In
Okay.
terms of the most fun version of this character, it's easily Empire.
Yes. I was like, Return of the Jedi did have some good moments. Like when he was emotionally vulnerable, he was very good. Like when he was fighting Darth Vader, and he does like the. We're talking about Empire Strikes
Ham.
Back.
But anyways,
Let's talk about the Han and Leia subplot, because Ben said he didn't like that. I think it's
at
generally
all.
one of the reasons why this is so well liked. And
this episode is us trying to convince Ben that Empire Strikes Back is good.
And let me say, I think the episode, or not episode, the scene where they were like arguing and she ends up like kissing Luke, I hated the dialogue there. Like the dialogue between the two, it's like they want to insult each other.
Laser brain.
Yeah, but they're 5. And then
yeah.
and then
Who's
side note,
scruffy looking?
yeah, I hated it.
I almost cursed there. I love that line. It's
it.
fun and cute. I don't know.
Exactly.
The rest of
That's the thing. Like Star Wars is supposed to be stupid. It's supposed to be like, oh, that's like funny, and not in a funny ha-ha way, but funny in a that's a weird line kind of way.
Well, I
the
mean, okay.
prequels, it's really enjoyable and unironically enjoyable, but the prequels take it to like another extreme where it's just, okay, now it's so bad. It's so campy that it's just bad.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fight back on kind of both of you. Like, I think the rest of the scene does go a little too far too campy. I agree that the laser brain's a dumb line. I don't think Scruffy looking's that campy. I think the main joke there is kind of like oh, she's called him all these worse things and he got mad at Scruffy looking. I guess that's kind of campy. I think that's like it really fits into Han's character and his sort of sarcastic sort of demeanor.
Yeah.
No, I think I like the scene.
I don't think that's all that campy. I think that's just a legit funny line. And I think
I'm just trying to defend my boy
Do you
in front of
know-
these accusations.
I would also like to say, as a side note, someone told me that Leia and Luke are siblings,
Yeah, I
Yes,
was about to
they are.
ask if you knew.
and they kissed. I did not like that.
There's a
They
very funny edit on YouTube where it's like a scene in Return of the Jedi
Yeah.
where it's just Han and Leia, and Han's just like, all right, I'll stay out of it. You know, you and Luke are clearly a thing, and Leia's like, oh no, it's not that at all. He's my brother. And Han just has this face, and the Kill Bill music starts playing with the boo, 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 and it cuts back to like the kiss in Empire, and then it cuts back to Return of the Jedi. Han still has the face, and Leia kisses him, and Han, they pull away. Han's just like, I'll show you it after the episode.
okay. And to be fair, they didn't know they were siblings at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, they did it.
George Lucas didn't know they were siblings at this point, and he says otherwise, but that's not true. You know?
Okay,
Why would
I
he-
actually, Yoda literally says there's another, who he's clearly implying Leia. I think George knew at this
Yeah.
The story is that he was like originally gonna go for like a long lost Skywalker, but then he was essentially told, no, just make it Leia. It's so much easier, so much simpler. And like, yeah, you're right.
But they also kissed,
That's
so
what I
we
hear, at
can't
least.
do that. That's what he should have said.
Or maybe George Lucas is just a weird man.
Oh, that's confirmed. He's
I mean-
strange.
The extent of the weirdness.
Does it extend to?
point. I mean, okay.
That.
So let's get into Han and Leia's relationship, because again, I think that's the emotional core, like when, because like the most like sad and like.
I love you. I know. Which was
Yeah.
an improv line, by
Yes.
the way.
Yeah, it was.
It was literally just supposed to be like, I love you too. But then Han Solo's like, Han Solo.
I get-
Harrison
Harrison
Ford
Ford.
was like, no, I need to change that. That's just way too, no, that's not
Cornball.
what Han Solo would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he just did I know on the spot, and George Lucas was like, this is why you're going to be the only actor whose career survives this movie.
I mean, Mark Hamill did okay. He just wasn't as big as Harrison Ford.
Name me one other movie where he was live action. One other live action movie.
I didn't.
beyond
I
Star
said
Wars.
he did okay. Also, the
James
guy.
Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones is like different. He was a voice actor for one, and two, wasn't he already established?
As what?
I don't think so.
I don't think. I don't.
Oh,
I think he was a breakout.
Then he was Mufasa.
that was like '95.
Yeah, I know, but he was Mufasa, so his career survived.
He was also in like various films in the '80s.
Yeah, but
Anyways, Empire Strikes Back. We talked about the acting. We talked about the fight scenes. We talked about.
Well, I just want to say why I think Han and Leia works and how you kind of have to like understand the times it was created. I don't know. If you get rid of the kind of creepy, like sort of
kind of.
pickup artist sort of thing about Han,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there are some really sweet scenes in there. I like, especially when they get the Cloud City.
Clown City.
Oh my gosh! I'm trying to get to Lando. We need to talk about Lando Calrissian, the greatest Star Wars character, next to Max Rebo. But that's another story for another day.
Max Rebo.
He's the blue elephant who's in Jabba's band in
Oh.
Jedi. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, now I do.
Yes.
Or Lobot.
Lando's pretty good in this film. I like Lando.
Yes.
He's pretty.
Who doesn't like Lando? Name me one man who doesn't like Lando.
I don't know, not that I know of.
He was I guess.
I mean, yeah.
I've named one.
See, that's high praise coming from you in regards to the rest of this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. He was the most like him and Han, like Han to a lesser extent, are the most like kind of dynamically and like sort of conflicting characters. Like, and how he's kind of a bad guy, but still not totally in the beginning, and we actually see him get an arc and sort of stuff like that. Like, I think that's the thing that makes Empire Strikes Back work better than the other ones. Like, all the characters have actual arcs in this film.
Yes.
Like, New Hope kind of does, but it's not like a really good one. Return of the Jedi doesn't.
Yes.
I mean, so Darth Vader has an arc. But
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi is more about, okay, now we need to end this conflict in a satisfying way while also selling the Ewok toys.
yes.
Yeah.
And A New Hope is all about kind of like setting up the whole story, which just kind of accidentally became like the ultimate version of the hero's journey somehow, because kind of magically. And yeah, Empire's more like the meat and potatoes of what Star Wars is, at least in terms of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And what it represents. It is adventure. It is John Williams' epic score.
Yeah.
It is Luke Skywalker fighting against all odds, and then learning to give up when he needs to and fall down a chasm, surely to his death. But oh no, wait, he fell through the hole.
I will also say, like, and also like, so like, everyone goes through an arc. Like, Luke goes through an arc where he learns the importance of patience, but like it's actually more deep than sort of that. Han and Leia learn to be more compatible with each other, and sort of like their relationship blooms. He had something with Lando. Darth Vader gets a little more interesting, where it's not just he's like mustache twirling bad guy. He is like literally like he has like a motivation where he wants his son to join him. Also, I think it's weird because it's weird to say this because he is such an iconic character that I'm probably gonna sound like a maniac when I'm saying this.
Oh no.
No, it's a thing.
Okay. Well, still.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. I don't think enough is said about how good of a character Yoda is in this film.
Yeah.
Go, Ben, go.
I didn't like Yoda at all.
At all?
What?
I thought he was rather annoying.
I am like transcending. You are causing me to transcend, and I will unleash that power back to this realm unless you change your mind right now.
I'd like to see the unleashed power.
I mean, okay.
You
I can
don't
get that
know
if I
the
feel like I
power
need it or
of the
whatever,
dark
but-
side.
Right. He was just like this little rat character that I could have done without.
You could do without Yoda?
Here's the thing.
He's Yoda.
Half of like the intellectuality. I'm not saying these are the smartest, but all like the sort of.
There's a semi-deep spiritual core
Yes,
to
yes,
this,
I mean-
and Yoda is like the center of that.
That's what I'm gonna say. That's why I love it so much. Like, because like his like sage advice. It's not like the deepest like Confucius thing ever, but there is like legit sort of spirituality. Like was George Lucas like actually inspired by like Eastern
Yes,
philosophy?
absolutely.
Yeah,
He largely viewed Star Wars as a means to spread his Eastern philosophy.
Yeah, and like here's the thing: in the West with films, TV, or whatever, we don't really get much like Eastern philosophy. I've taken like I've taken like a few like philosophy courses in my day. They almost never touch on like Eastern philosophy, and I like that that's kind of got out there through such like a iconic series and like that. And I think while it's not the deepest thing ever, like the sort of sage advice that Yoda gives is very good and very like poignant, especially for young kids like watching Star Wars.
I can understand like not liking Yoda in like the first scene he's in because he is supposed to be annoying. Like literally, he is supposed to be annoying
Yeah.
Luke. But after that, once the reveal switches that oh no, that green guy is Yoda, and he suddenly flips and becomes this wise old sage.
Yeah.
I don't understand how like you just continue to hate him after that.
I don't know. I just wish he was like a person instead of a.
But the
So
whole
you're
the,
racist.
He's not. Yeah.
the whole point of his character is that oftentimes the most wise and powerful people come in.
Green packages.
Yes. I mean, it really is like a Wizard of Oz kind of deal, where like at first you think Yoda is the great and mighty, powerful Oz, and then he's revealed to be the
I'm
guy
not
behind
a
the
con
counter,
artist.
but he's
I didn't
still
think Yoda
just
was
as
the Wizard of
powerful, if not
Oz.
more so.
You calling him
More
like
so.
a con artist?
Not in that sense, but in the sense that he's a liar at first, and then he's revealed, but he's still
No, I
like
think you're talking
well-meaning and still powerful in a sense.
I think it's a reverse Oz.
Reverse Oz?
Reverse, yeah, because he's like a little twerp thing that you don't really know what it is, and he's just dancing around and saying goofy stuff, and then he's revealed to be the powerful one. But Oz was a powerful being, and then it was revealed to just be a little dude.
He
and
still
finding
helps
it.
them out. He still
No, yeah,
gives
no,
them a brain.
but I think-
It's like no, I get what
yeah.
Gabe's saying, and like it's revealed. Oz is always like a powerful or like smart person. It's revealed that like it's not like your very traditional like hyper masculine like oh he's a powerful warrior who's like smites his enemies. Like no, the pen is mightier than the sword. He's powerful because of his mind and his.
Until the
Spirit.
prequels where he goes ham on Count Dooku.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Because
Where it just becomes like a literal ragdoll, just going.
and Jedis don't use their powers for fighting; they use them for defense, and then one other thing is what he says. But then in this movie, or in the prequels, he's jumping around and
I will defend that. And
Working
that
up a sweat, boy. You can't show me doing that.
I will defend that, and I think Yoda's going through like a character arc in the prequels, and that's kind of the point. But
he's been around for like a few hundred years at
yeah,
that
but
point.
like it's
800.
He should have already gone
At that point.
800 at Empire Strikes Back. Prequels, it's like,
okay. We can talk about the prequels
Prequels
next
are
week.
30 years before. Anyways,
oh, so that's still like 800 years. He should have already gone through his arc.
you can go through an arc in any.
Luke is not
Not at
30
800.
years old. Luke was born at the end of the prequels, Gabe.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm thinking of no, never mind. Anyways, I think
How
it's
old is
time.
Is there any
In A
else?
New Hope, he's 18,
Okay.
and I think this is like 3 years after, so 1921.
21.
Yeah, I think that's
Funny
fine. Oh,
line?
do we,
That's
how about the
right.
ending? That's one of those iconic, like, sort of, not even just like the reveal of, oh, Luke, I am your father, just like how.
Oh, just like we are at our low point, but we
Yeah.
have hope. Dare I say,
A new
Hope.
hope.
a new hope, a new hope,
A new, the last hope is what they say a lot in
the
this
newer
movie.
hope.
The new hope becomes the last hope.
Imagine just a new hope, and then episode 5, a newer hope, and then a newest hope,
The newest hope.
and then Force Awakens just becomes the
Yeah.
Hope Awakens,
Like, I think
The
that's
prequel
what,
trilogy is no hope.
the last hope,
I
The
think
last
that's,
hope.
the rise of hope.
The rise.
I think that's why the film
Hope
does
Menace.
work with so many people is that like I assume I wasn't there. Films
Attack
these
of the
days
Hope.
didn't like action like films these days didn't really have like the confidence to sort of end on like such either like a cliffhanger or such a downer sort of thing. Like oh Han Solo's captured, Luke lost his arm, like oh turns out the main bad guy is his father and he's been lied to by his like Obi-Wan sensei.
Okay, Weebs, get out the door. Weebs get voted off. Let's just put it that way.
Got 99 problems and a weeb ain't one.
Ooh, let's rate this movie.
Are we voting off someone now?
Oh no, we are
Rating. Got it.
in the movie. Yes.
All right.
Chicka chicka down, down, bang. Up jump the boogie.
Wait.
Oh,
Let me give that a little hope.
little.
A little boost, a little bit higher than I originally thought, because I did remember Yoda, just in general.
Oh, yes. Oh yeah, now you get it.
Yeah, no, I get it. What is that?
This is 0. That's the 10.
But why does it have the mark?
Because that's how I draw my zeros.
Looks like a coffee bean.
Shush.
That looks more.
Cal first.
I'm gonna change this. Yeah, I'm gonna like this.
And justify it. Make sure you justify it.
Okay, I'm giving this 5 rings to rule them all out of 6 rings to bind them.
I hate you so much.
Because
Justify it.
I think it's a legit good film. I don't think it's like 5 out of 6. That's like in the 80s, right? Or is that in the 90s?
5 out of 6.
5 out of
is
6?
in 80s?
Is you did a weird one.
Yeah.
A 5 out of
6.
6 is in 80s? What?
Is
It's
it
in the 80s. Like it's like if you were to do a percentage.
Oh, okay. Who cares?
Yeah.
Don't do a 5 out of 6. Do like just a 5 point
Okay,
scale or 10 point
8
scale.
rings to rule them all out of 10 rings to bind them. I did Lord of the Rings because Lord of the Rings is better than Star Wars. I'm right.
I agree with that.
Hard disagree, but everyone has their own
I think
thing. So
this rightfully deserves to be called the classic it is. It's not like the best film ever made, obviously, and it's very dated, like all those kind of original trilogy. But there's a reason it's well loved, and like there's been other like classic films I've gone back and I'm like, okay, this is still very good, but it's not necessarily the best thing ever. I still think if someone were to tell me Empire Strikes Back is their favorite film of all time, I would not like laugh in their face or say, oh wow, nostalgia much. I'd be like, okay, I disagree, I think you're wrong. But that's a nice pick. And I think that's perfectly exemplified as an 8 out of 10.
all right, Gary.
Yeah. 8.5 Matrix glasses out of 10 Matrix glasses, because the Matrix is better than Star Wars.
Are you like the Matrix trilogy or just the Matrix?
Just the one Matrix. We don't, you can include the Animatrix.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Justify it.
Justify it.
Yeah.
I
kinda
guess
sum up
for
your
the
part.
same reasons he said, that it's a classic and nothing really more. It's not like a super great, super awesome cinematic masterpiece. But also, I added the 0.5 because of Yoda specifically.
I'm giving it 9.6 Han Solo's Frozen in Carbonite out of 10 Han Solo's Frozen in Carbonite, because Han Solo Frozen in Carbonite is better than Star Wars. And it's mainly for the reasons that you guys described as well, but in fact, I would call it a great and awesome cinematic masterpiece. Not because it's like Citizen Kane or Schindler's List or anything, but because it is just an all-around fantastically made movie. I used to think that you'd have a really easy bet in watching it, that you'd pretty much at least enjoy it quite a bit.
I would say that before Ben too.
Yeah,
I'd
I would
say
say
You know, you are literally the only person I know who has seen Empire Strikes Back and has in fact hated it. That is very shocking to me. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying you're going against the my expectations here.
Right.
But how much did he hate it? Let's see.
Yes, good transition there, Garrett.
2 out of 7 weird Han Leia interaction.
That's spicy.
Oh, wow.
That's spicy.
I really wasn't entertained most of the time, but the set looked pretty sometimes in 4K.
Sometimes.
2 out of 7? What
Yes.
would that be out of 10?
Not good.
People-
You're
people-
failing your grade, man.
Yeah.
people
yeah.
actually use 7.
People use 7
I don't like 4. I don't like that so many people use out of 4. That's a
out of 4.
Who
uses out of 4?
What are you talking about?
ton of people. Like that's what Roger Ebert did. And,
ton.
Oh, well, Roger Ebert can do that because he's Roger
no,
Ebert.
but since Roger Ebert did it, it popularized among. There's a ton of film critics who use it out of 4. I'm not gonna name examples. Like out of,
I'm
Why?
not
I'm
gonna
not going to
substantiate my claim.
justify myself.
because I can't think like off the top of my head, but I have seen plenty of people like rate it. Oh, I give this 3.5 out of 4.
Okay, frickin'.
4 is not a completely strange metric.
No, it's not. But it is weird that you think that a lot of people use it. I don't think a lot of people
Yeah,
use 4.
I've used 4, I think.
You've used
Yeah.
4?
Yeah.
I don't like
'Cause
4.
it's a
I'm just saying
good-
I've seen it.
It's a good increment, like
Like 25%?
25, 50, 75, 100. It's,
But
it's
just
a
use
good,
the percentage then. I don't want to know what 3.5 out of 4
No,
is.
it is. If you're going for the simplest means it is pretty good.
Out of 10,
Out
would
of like screw the percentage thing, but just the whole idea of terrible, bad, good, great.
Yeah.
It doesn't leave a lot of wiggle room if you think of a film as just like mediocre.
Yeah, it makes you pick a stance.
But
That's the
That's
justification
pretty
for
good.
that's pretty good, actually. Okay.
That's why I think 5 is the best one.
5.
Yes.
I think
This is a useless argument to be having right now. Let's
Yeah.
vote off
Probably.
someone. I wonder who it will be.
Oh,
Maybe,
no.
maybe their
Hold up.
name starts with a B, but
Hold up.
I may not believe it.
I don't. Okay.
I would like to point out while we are
I've-
waiting.
I've been crazy over waiting to see who's gonna do this.
Okay.
I would like to point out first that I've yet to be voted off the show, and this is sacrilege
The
if it is in
first
fact me.
Let's see.
3, 2, 1, go! Garrett.
It's me.
It's Garrett. Why? So, why Garrett?
Matrix being better than Star Wars bugged me.
It didn't bug me.
I disagree, but it just doesn't bug me as much.
The Matrix is better than Star Wars.
It's not.
It is.
It's
And
not,
also-
but
and
I'm
also-
not gonna that's not the hill I'm gonna die
And
on.
also, I appreciate Ben going against the grain.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it, actually.
It was definitely nice to get fresh eyes on it, so I didn't want
So,
to vote Ben.
yes.
It
And I
wasn't.
liked
It wasn't
y'all's
just the Matrix thing. I
opinions.
think you and Garrett were kind of tied, and I didn't want to vote Ben off because I think he deserved to stay on. The Matrix thing brought me over. I'm like, you know what?
And why me?
You liked it too much.
That's fair, actually. No, that makes
You had
sense.
the highest rating.
Yes, I am like the polar opposite for you.
Yeah.
So, Garrett, my boy, I'm sorry.
It's all right. I
Isn't
did
this
it
your
to
first
myself.
time, too?
This is my second time being on the show, my first time being voted off.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does it feel? What are you gonna do now?
Well, I did it to myself.
What are you-
I voted me.
What are you gonna do now?
Travel.
Okay.
Yeah. See the world.
Well, then travel off the set, bucko.
All right. That was-
Get out of here. As
So our remaining champ,
I'm trying to
Ben
think of a
Katarzinski.
character.
I know. I survived the final tribal council. I feel like you should all vote to give me $1 million now.
We know we're not. We still got 2 more.
A million
movies.
credits. Aha, it's Star Wars reference. All right, so next week we are leaving the good trilogy and hopping on over to.
The prequel trilogy. Let's just call
Let's
it
just
that.
call it for now. The bad prequel trilogy. Next week, The Phantom Menace.
Oh.
But until then, who is the Phantom Menace? I don't know. Are you? Is it me?
If this is a Star Wars reference, I'm not getting it.
It's
If you
not.
love The Phantom Menace next week, we're gonna have some problems.
Okay, our producer is telling us to wrap it up.
Can I get a confirmation on that? Yes, indeed. So until next time, au revoir.